My previous Footswap video explained the different types of Footswap in detail. Here are a few extra tips to help. It can take hundreds, if not thousands of attempts to master your Footswap movement. If you're struggling, that can get really tiring since after every fall you have to climb back on the board and start again. If you're struggling, then what I did when first learning kite foil Footswaps was practice on land. Even better, these days you can also film yourself in slow motion and see if you're doing it right. Place your board on a cushioned surface or simply mark out its shape with some chalk. Also, mark out your normal balance point, the place where you keep your centre of mass above, or the midpoint of your normal foot placement. Then you can practice your Footswaps and ideally film it, aiming to keep your feet placed evenly on either side of your balance point, and trying to make sure that your core doesn't shift around much at all. This will train you to hold your core still and simply twist from the hips downwards. If you swap stance and your foot placement shifts significantly, try it again. If you swap stance and your core moves around significantly, try it again. Once your land practice looks good, carry on with the steps from my previous video. Taxi Footswaps, touchdown Footswaps, then low foiling Footswaps. I'd like to clarify what type of Footswap you should learn. Should you be doing a hop swap or a nose hold Footswap? The simplest method by far is definitely to narrow stance and hop both of your feet at once. That method means you only use small movements, greatly reducing the chance that you accidentally move your weight away from the balance point. I'd recommend you start there until you can consistently hold your core in position over the balance point. Once you get some reliability with that basic version, I recommend you move onto the nose hold Footswap. That's because this is the superior method overall. It's superior because you always have a foot on the board, which means you can maintain control of the board throughout. That means it works better at high speed. It works better on smaller, more responsive foils. It works better in rough or changeable conditions. However, it's not the first swap to learn because the larger movements involved mean that you're more likely to move your weight around on the board by mistake. I've heard a few people say to beginners that they should look forward to help them foil level during a Footswap. I would definitely not advise this for beginners. Having a look at your feet will help you place your feet more confidently and importantly means you can review if you got it right. The benefit of seeing and reviewing your foot placement greatly outweighs the small weight shift that comes from looking down. Once your technique is practiced anyway, you'll naturally find that you don't need to look down at your feet. It helps to first get comfortable with being able to move your feet around while foiling. That will teach you how to handle different foot placements, and you'll find that it's not the end of the world if your foot placement is slightly wrong. For example, if your foot placement shifts forwards, the foil will want to descend, but you can compensate with a small rearwards weight shift. Learning to handle changes in foot placement will make you more prepared to Footswap. At the stage of learning Footswaps, you should absolutely not have footstraps on your board. At that skill level, footstraps are more likely to cause injury than save you. However, when you're ready for footstraps, they do make Footswaps easier. The footstrap provides more control over the board, and it gives you a perfectly placed target for your feet. I hope these extra tips help you, but please feel free to share your questions in the comments section.